Hi everyone, you're welcome to Siego Supreme.
Siego Supreme steps into frame, wearing the official brown leather apron over his branded white t-shirt.
And guess why? Because it's Father's Day. This is a Father's Day special. So I have
the camera shifts focus to a spread of fresh ingredients laid out.
I try to position them strategically for me to know where exactly they're placed. I have my corn flour, I have my chicken stock, I have my tofu, I have my baby corn cob, I have my grated cheese. Next to my grated cheese, I have my minced garlic and my cooking butter. And over here, I have my baby potatoes and my chicken mid wings, which I'm gonna be baking in the oven rather than frying them. And I've just basted and prepared them in olive oil. And this is gonna go right into the oven.
He carefully places specially cut baby potatoes and seasoned chicken mid wings into the oven.
So I'm just gonna set this for about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna be cutting my tofu into chunks, and for me to be able to do that easily, I'm gonna be using my edge slicer. And in order for my knife to cut through easily, I'm gonna oil it a bit so the knife can cut through.
With precision, Siego Supreme slices tofu using a meat slicer, each cut clean and deliberate.
So after this, I'm gonna put olive oil in the oil pan and I'm gonna be frying it. I'm gonna put in my olive oil. So for every utensil item I don't require anymore, I put it away. I know that it's out of the way. I might want to sizzle my onions before frying my tofu, just to give it some nice aroma and taste. So I'm just gonna slice my onions and I have to be careful. And this goes into the frying pan. I'm gonna stir it up. Once it fries, from the smell, I'll be able to tell. And that's one thing I've trained myself to do. Whatever aroma I perceive, if it's seasoning or even if it's burnt, the smell will tell me what stage it is. So I just let it sizzle. Once that happens, then I'm gonna pour in my tofu and my corn cobs, baby corn cobs. I may want to add a bit of
Siego Supreme clamps some salt in his palm and rubs them together so as to salt the tofu.
So that's my method of sprinkling salt on my food. So onion is seasoning. I will want to burn it with, we want to burn the onions, to give it that aroma. And then my cobs, they also go in. And if you notice, one thing I've learned is for health and safety, when I'm cooking, I always make sure the handle is inwards and not towards me to prevent an accident. While my tofu and corn cobs are frying, I'm going to be preparing my broth base. So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons, heapful tablespoons of corn flour. This is to thicken my broth base. So I have that. Then I'm going to be adding some water. And here, okay, I got it. Yeah. So
he scoops 2 heaps of corn flour into a cup and adds water, creating a smooth slurry.
That's my beeper. It tells me liquid level. I'm going to stir this to make sure there are no clumps so I have a good slurry.
20 minutes later,
I think
the oven alarm
it's all
sounds.
Done now.
Wearing an oven glove, Siego Supreme pulls out perfectly crisped baby potatoes and mid wings,
sure
golden brown and ready.
It's going to be crispy brown. I'm going to turn this off. I can tell from the touch it's all crispy. Yeah, this is good. This is looking good. So I had to swap burners. Then while the tofu is frying, I'm gonna be adding my minced garlic and cooking butter. By the way, I use 125 grams with 3 cloves of minced garlic for the broth I'm making. I have about 2 liters of broth. So I'm gonna let that melt. Once that does, and while that is melting up, I'm gonna cut this onions into tiny bits. So I'll put it on low heat. By the time the onions go in, I'm gonna saute everything, and once that is ready, then just for the onions to be translucent. I may not be able to tell, but based on my timing, it's just about within about 3 to 4 minutes. That should do the job. So I'm gonna be pouring the onions right now. I mentioned in my very first video, you might need to catch up on that. I told about my experience, my first time I experienced cooking, where I got my fingers burnt. So I'm gonna just cover this up. I'll set the timer for 4 minutes and let it saute.
4 minutes
Alexa,
later.
stop. Okay, so it's 4 minutes, and I think my onions and minced garlic and cooking butter are all ready for the corn flour to go in. This is for thickening my cream soup. So I'm just going to be pouring this in right away. Yeah. Right now it's quite hot. The weather is quite hot and it's very hot right now. I think I'm going to be needing a drink. Wow. So another safety tip in the kitchen for me, I make sure that every liquid is placed against the wall on my top, just in case I attempt to knock something, I don't topple it. It's against the wall. I'm gonna check my tofu now, and it smells good. And from the way I'm stirring, I can feel that it's all done. Okay, this is good. I'm just gonna turn the heat off. My tofu is ready. My baby potatoes and meat wings are all ready. So I'm just gonna wait for the broth base to cook a bit. Once that does, then I'm gonna be adding my broth. My chicken broth is going in right now. Just gonna let it cook for another 10 minutes, and after that I can pour in my grated cheese. Once the cheese melts, then I'm gonna be adding my broth. Let it simmer for another 10 minutes and roll it through.
10 minutes later.
I guess it's time to let me take a look at this. Alexa, stop. Okay, this is cooking, and I'm gonna be pouring my cheese now. I'm just gonna let it all melt in. Once that does, maybe in another 3 minutes, then I'm gonna pour in my cream. So
3 minutes later,
all the cheese melted now. I'm gonna be pouring in my cream to give it that rich, creamy taste. Second one goes in. I'm adding a bit of cream of coconut that I've sifted. I'll just let it cook for a few minutes, then I can put in all my condiments. So my tofu and corn cobs going now, and then my baby potatoes and meat wings, join them all in. Just gonna let this simmer for about another 5 minutes. Trust me, this smells really good.
5 minutes later.
Let me check this out. Okay, yeah, it looks good. Well, I mean,
it simmers softly, the flavors coming together in harmony.
So I think it's all done, and I'm gonna be serving it. It's all been served now, and I'm gonna dig right in.
Finally,
Well,
the chicken
this
cream
chicken cream
soup is
soup
served in a white, heart-shaped
is a Father's
bowl,
Day special,
garnished with a sprinkle of
and it was
rosemary
made from
and a
the bottom
dash of
of my heart.
paprika.
It could be had with bun, it could be naan, it could be bagels. I'm just gonna taste it.
Ciego Supreme takes a spoonful and enjoys the first taste.
Taste is priceless. And so are fathers. Alright, thank you very much for watching. It's been Ciego Supreme making chicken cream soup on Father's Day special. Let me have your comments. Let me know how well I did. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye for now.
The screen fades to black.